वंदे गुजरात।
नमस्कार आप सभी को। मैं संजय गुप्ता। आई एम वर्किंग एज ए प्रोफेसर एंड हेड डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ एक्रेडिटेशन, चिल्ड्रंस यूनिवर्सिटी गांधीनगर. I have already conducted 3 sessions on National Education Policy 2020, and this is the 4th and the last session from my side on National Education Policy. I identified 106 points from entire education policy pertinent to higher education, of which I have already covered 76 points till the last presentation. In this presentation, I'll move on from 77th point and go up to point 106, and in this way my inputs as far as new national education policy is concerned would be over. As far as higher education is concerned, government has proposed via this national education policy to transform entire higher education system. For that, Higher Education Commission of India will be set up, and the main function of this particular commission would be regulation, accreditation, funding, and setting academic standards. So these would be the 4 basic functions which would be done under Higher Education Commission of India. Now, in order to carry out these functions, Higher Education Commission of India will come with 4 wings. One of the wing is, the first council is National Higher Education Regulatory Council, and this council, the function of this council would be the common single point regulator for higher education sector, including teacher education and excluding medical and legal education. So, NHERC, National Higher Education Regulatory Council, will be the single regulator, single point regulator for entire higher education sector. This will also include teacher education but exclude medical and legal education from this. Now, the second wing of that commission would be NAC, National Accreditation Council. This council will accredit higher education institutions, and the basis for accreditation would be basic norms, then public self-disclosure, then good governance and outcome of the institution. These would be the basic 4 things which would be considered the foundation for accreditation of higher education institutions by National Accreditation Council. Third wing of this commission would be HEGC, Higher Education Grant Council. This council will function to fund and finance the higher education. Especially this council would be responsible for disbursement of scholarships in higher education and providing developmental funds to institutes. So, in this way, this council will work for funding and financing. Then the 4th wing of this commission would be GEC, General Education Council. Education Council is responsible to frame expected learning outcomes for higher education program, and these expected learning outcomes are also called as graduate attributes. So, General Education Council's main function would be to frame expected learning outcomes for higher education program, and these outcomes would become the center in moving entire higher education in future. Now, General Education Council will further formulate NHEQF, means National Higher Education Qualification Framework, and it shall work along with National Skill Qualification Framework. The purpose is to integrate vocational education into higher education. So now vocational education is given more importance in this particular policy. So to bring vocational education at school level, even at higher education level, what GEC will do? GEC will frame National Higher Education Qualification Framework, and these NHEQF will work in sync with National Skill Qualification Framework, जिससे कि वोकेशनल एजुकेशन को हायर एजुकेशन में अच्छी तरीके से मर्ज किया जा सके, लाया जा सके और वोकेशनल एजुकेशन अलग ना रह जाए. द प्रोफेशनल काउंसिल्स सच एज इंडियन काउंसिल फॉर एग्रीकल्चरल रिसर्च मीन्स ICAR, वेटरनरी काउंसिल of India VCI, in National Council for Teacher Education means NCT, Council for Architecture COA, then National Council for Vocational Education and Training NCVET, etc. would be restructured and will act as professional standard setting bodies, that is called as PSSB in new format. Then mechanism will be developed to curb the commercialization of higher education on priority basis. We know after privatization has taken the form of commercialization. So purpose of privatization was different, and the purpose of commercialization itself is different. So point is, government need to neutralize the purpose of commercialization from privatization. So in order to end the purpose of commercialization and in order to promote the purpose of privatization in higher education, there would be a new mechanism, and that mechanism will work to curb the commercialization of higher education on priority basis. Then a transparent mechanism would be developed for fixing of fees. Now we know various institutions are there, they charge fees like anything. Sometimes it seems very illogical, irrational too. So now next move from this policy would be that according to the accreditation of these institutions, fees would be charged. So it is like a transparent mechanism would be developed for fixing of fees with an upper limit for different types of institutions depending upon their accreditation. So base for deciding the fees would be their grade in accreditation. Then common minimum national guidelines will be prepared for existing private higher education institutions. Then through a suitable system of graded accreditation and graded autonomy, all higher education institutions in India will aim to become independent, self-governing institution. So based on what? Based on graded accreditation and based on given autonomy, graded autonomy given to these institutions. Based on that, higher education institutions in India will aim to become independent, self-governing institutions. And why are they to be given this independence? So that innovations and excellence can be promoted in coming years, especially in coming 15 years. Then each institution will make a strategic institutional development plan. Means every institution has to have his or her, its strategic institutional development plan, and on the basis of which institution will undertake initiatives according to that plan, assess its own progress and reach the goal set therein, and based on that public funding would be given to that institution. So institution has to plan itself and based on that has to work accordingly, and all that entire plan and its effectiveness of work according to that plan will decide the funding to be given to that particular institution. Then government will take strong and innovative initiatives for adult education. We know program plan is to get 100% literacy, so in that we cannot forget adults also. So that's why government will take strong and innovative initiatives for adult education. Adult education curriculum framework will be developed by a constituent body of NCERT that is dedicated to एडल्ट एजुकेशन. एनसीईआरटी की एक अलग से बॉडी जो एडल्ट एजुकेशन के लिए काम करेगी वो एडल्ट एजुकेशन करिकुलम फ्रेमवर्क बनाएगी. एंड suitable infrastructure will be ensured so that all interested adults will have access to adult education and lifelong learning. So on one side, adult education curriculum framework would be prepared by NCERT, and on the other side, suitable infrastructure would be provided so that adults can do better and they can also be part of the success of the nation. As I just told you, important aim is of achieving 100% literacy. So in that, adult education is very important. All languages in India and their associated art and culture will be documented through a web-based platform. What is happening because of English or some other languages, Indian languages are subsumed, are not given much importance. So in order to change this scenario, government wants to document web-based documentation is to be web-based documentation of all Indian languages so that they can be preserved and they can be used in future for protecting or for preserving these languages for future. Then strong department and programs in Indian languages will be launched and developed across the country. पूरे देश में इंडियन लैंग्वेजेस के लिए सेपरेट डिपार्टमेंट्स एंड प्रोग्राम्स चालू किए जाएंगे जिससे कि इंडियन लैंग्वेजेस को महत्व दिया सके, उनको इम्पोर्टेंस दिया जा सके. एंड 4-year इंटीग्रेटेड डिग्री विल बी डेवलप्ड इन दीज सब्जेक्ट्स लाइक ए 4-year इंटीग्रेटेड ड्यूअल डिग्री बीएड. जैसे बीएड की ड्यूअल डिग्री रहती है 4-year इंटीग्रेटेड, वैसे ही इंडियन लैंग्वेजेस में भी डिग्री कोर्सेज चालू किए जाएंगे, 4-year डिग्री कोर्सेज. Then National Research Foundation will fund in the area of language, art and music for quality research. So government will come up with National Research Foundation, and this National Research Foundation will fund for researching in language, art and music. Then high quality programs and degrees in translation and interpretation will be offered in higher education. So translation and interpretation along with language is given very much importance. So especially in translation and interpretation, high quality programs and degrees would be offered. Then high quality learning material will also be prepared in Indian and foreign languages, because if material is not available, it becomes hurdle in learning of that particular course or that particular thing. So learning material and other important written and spoken material will be developed in various Indian and foreign languages. Then government has picked up that Sanskrit is to be given much importance, because we know Sanskrit is the language of our Vedas. It is the language in which our Lord Krishna spoke, and it is the language of. So Sanskrit will be mainstreamed with strong offerings in school, including as one of the language option in 3-language formula as well as in higher education. So संस्कृत को 3-language formula जो है हमारा, उसके हिसाब से स्कूल लेवल पर भी रखा जाएगा हर जगह, और हायर एजुकेशन में भी संस्कृत को इंटीग्रेट किया जाएगा संस्कृत को महत्व देने के लिए. Especially Sanskrit universities would be established or if Sanskrit universities are there, in that case Sanskrit universities will move toward becoming large multidisciplinary institutions of higher learning, and Department of Sanskrit will be established and strengthened. So if Sanskrit universities are there, they will be converted into multidisciplinary universities, and if Sanskrit departments are to be established, they will also be established, means all efforts will be done to promote Sanskrit in our education system. Then Sanskrit teachers will be professionalized across the country in mission mode through the offering of 4-year integrated multidisciplinary B.Ed dual degree in education and Sanskrit. So संस्कृत टीचर तैयार करने के लिए भी पूरे एफर्ट्स किए जाएंगे और संस्कृत टीचर्स 4-year ड्यूअल डिग्री B.Ed के द्वारा भी संस्कृत के टीचर तैयार किए जाएंगे. Then scholarship and incentives will be offered to study Indian languages, art and culture. So Indian language, art and culture को बचाने के लिए और उसको प्रमोट करने के लिए स्कॉलरशिप दी जाएंगी, इंसेंटिव्स दिए जाएंगे, सो दैट मोर एंड मोर स्टूडेंट्स डू कम एंड दे लर्न दिस थिंग, जिससे कि अगर हम अपने विरासत को बचा पाएंगे, अपने देश की विरासत को बचा पाएंगे, तो हमारे देश के लिए, ये हमारे देश के विकास के लिए, हमारे देश की प्रभुता के लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण होगा. इसी लाइन में prizes would also be offered for outstanding poetry and prose in Indian languages. Indian language में पोइट्री एंड प्रोज के लिए भी प्राइजेस दिए जाएंगे, उनको प्रमोट करने के लिए प्राइजेस दिए जाएंगे. तो दोज हु आर टैलेंटेड और दोज हु आर linguistically intelligent, they can participate in such type of poetry and proses and they can win prize, and as an outcome these poetry and prose will become part of our literature. So that will enrich the literature of Indian languages. And then proficiency in Indian languages will be included as part of qualification parameters. So Indian languages में proficiency होनी ही चाहिए. उसको क्या करने वाले हैं, अगर इंडियन लैंग्वेज में प्रोफिशिएंसी है तो ऐसे कैंडिडेट्स को एम्प्लॉयमेंट में भी प्राधान्य दिया जाएगा, एम्प्लॉयमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटी भी दी जाएंगी. एंड देन लास्टली MHRD will be redesigned as Ministry of Education, and you know it has already been redesigned as Ministry of Education now. Now there is no more MHRD, now it is Ministry of Education. It was planned and it has been executed. And finally, before I complete my presentation, centers and the state will work together to increase the public investment in education sector to reach up to 6% of GDP at its earliest. We know earlier as far as our last experience is concerned, total 0.69% of GDP was spent on our education, but government has planned it to take it up to 6% of GDP. So it is almost 9 times to existing or previous GDP expenditure on education. So point is, education is very important in the development of nation. We know no nation can develop without proper education, because what is the base of development? Base of development is quality human being, and base of quality human being is quality of education. And for that, in order to improve the quality of education, policy speaks about to convert 0.69% of GDP to 6% of GDP to be invested in education system. And this investment will be done in association, in collaboration with the state and center. And finally, the last point is, in fact, we know there are various plans, there are many commissions, there are many reports, there are many suggestions, but if they are not implemented, then there is no point. So, as a part of this policy only, implementation has also been thought over. So, subject-wise implementation committee of experts will be constituted for effective implementation. जिससे कि जो भी हमने प्लान किया है वो प्लान की हुई चीज़ें सीधी की सीधी इम्प्लीमेंट हो सकें और उसका हमको बेनिफिट मिल सके। मोर ओवर, जो भी हमने जो प्लान किया है, जो इम्प्लीमेंट किया है, वेदर दैट इम्प्लीमेंटेशन हैज़ बीन डन प्रॉपरली और नॉट इज अगेन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. So to see it again, progress of implementation would be reviewed yearly so that properly this particular policy can be implemented and fruits of the inputs of this policy can be tested by the society. Now let me talk about the fundamental principles which are the core or base in construction of this national education policy. One of them is to identify and nurture the unique capabilities of each student. So entire education policy is drafted in such a way that can promote the identification and nurturing of the unique capabilities of each student. Then to sensitize teachers as well as parents to promote holistic development of each child in both academic and non-academic spheres. Then to give the highest priority to achieve foundational literacy and numeracy to all students by grade 3. Next is to provide flexibility to learners so that they can choose their routes and programs and thereby choose their career according to their talent and interests. Then no hard separation between arts and science, between curricular and extracurricular activities, between vocational and academic stream, etc. be encouraged so that holistic learning can take place. Next is give emphasis on conceptual understanding rather than rote learning and learning for exams. We know our current system is such that learners focus on rote memorization rather than understanding the concept. So this policy is framed in such a way that rote memorization is to be discouraged and conceptual understanding is to be encouraged. The next is promote creativity and critical thinking to encourage logical decision making and innovations. So learners higher order thinking like creativity, critical thinking and decision making are to be improved. Then instill ethics and humans and constitutional values among people. It is very much essential. These values are empathy, respect for others, cleanliness, courtesy, democratic spirit, spirit of service, respect for public property, scientific temper, liberty, responsibility, pluralism, equality and justice. All these values are to be instilled. Then promoting multilingualism and the power of languages in teaching learning. So learners must have command over multiple languages, not on one single language. Then promote life skills such as communication, cooperation, teamwork and resilience. This will improve their employability, this will improve their behavior and so on. Next is focus on regular formative assessment rather than summative assessment, because what summative assessment has done, it has encouraged coaching culture, and coaching culture is not in the line of holistic development, and this policy targets holistic development. So for holistic development, formative assessment is to be encouraged and summative assessment is to be discouraged. Then use of technology in teaching and learning, in removing language barriers, in increasing access for Divyang students, and also in educational planning and management be used. Technology is to be given importance in all these spheres. Then respect for local context in all curriculum, pedagogy and policy is to be encouraged. So this policy is prepared in such a way that local context is given due importance in education. Next, teachers and faculty as the heart of learning process, their recruitment, their professional development, their environment in which they have to work, their service conditions, etc. should be provided in excellent manner. And finally, encourage innovations and out of box ideas through autonomy, good governance and empowerment. So, through autonomy, through governance, good governance and through empowerment, what is to be promoted? Innovations and out of box ideas. Then outstanding research as a core requisite for outstanding education and development. And finally, encourage true philanthropic private and community participation in education. These are some of the fundamental principles based on which this policy has been drafted. Shukriya, Namaskar, thank you.